am Maria Marr with Jersey Rock on 95.9 The Rat, and I am here with Brian Fallon, the lead singer of the Gaslight Anthem, once again. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
We are here because, well, obvious reasons, we love you as a New Jersey musician, and a lot of people I work with look up to you. And I want to start off by talking about the 2-day stint that you have going on at the Stone Pony. New Jersey's kind of been going through a lot this year, obvious reasons, and it's kind of nice to see some sort of normalcy. I mean, you can see behind us, the boardwalk is back. Yeah. The Stone Pony Summer Stage is opening, so you got to be excited to be kicking off Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's the big start of the summer, and it was that's what everybody was concentrating on in back in the fall. They were just like, if we can just get everything together by the summer, and they did. There's like a few little, gates and things like that aren't finished, but like for the majority, all the restaurants are open again, and everybody's ready to get back to some sort of sense of at least normalcy, even if there's some people's houses that aren't taken care of yet, but at least they can go out and kind of escape what they've been living in for the last 12 months or 8 months or whatever it's been since October. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool that we're kicking it off first. All right.
It's a great schedule this summer. A lot of cool bands rolling through, which is always awesome. Courtney Love, I was just going to say, that's going to be crazy.
Could be.
Social D's coming back. Can't wait for that.
With Chuck Reagan, right?
Yes.
And Dave Haas.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
There's a lot of, and I saw like bands like Sugar Ray are actually playing, which might be kind of cool to check out.
I just want to fly.
Exactly. Who doesn't,
I was just thinking about that song on the plane. I had 14 hours from Australia.
Really?
Yeah, it's at 15. But I was thinking about that song, and I was like, that's kind of a good song.
It is.
There's a couple good songs. They have, there's another one that I really like that, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like, it was on the next album after the Fly one. It was the next.
Is it Every Morning?
Nope, it's the different one. He's sitting on stairs that like falls apart. Might as well.
Yeah.
Everything's wasted.
Yep,
that song,
I know that song.
Love that song.
Yeah, they're good.
So good. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, it should be cool.
He still looks like he's 25.
He really does.
Yeah.
He really does.
Mark McGrath.
Now, I want to talk about the set list. We were kind of talking about it a little bit off camera.
Yeah.
I've seen you guys multiple times, and you're very spontaneous with it. You always switch it up. Sometimes do some covers. Sometimes bring out some special guests. Is there anything that people in New Jersey who are going can look forward to or expect?
Yeah, we're going to change it up every night. Sometimes we write the set, and then we just kind of vibe it out, and it'll change as we're playing it, and we'll just freaks out everybody in the crew. The sound guy hates that, but the lighting guy really hates that. But, it's just, we kind of vibe off whatever is going on during the show, so it's always subject to change.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be different every night, so that'll be good.
Good. Hopefully the weather will hold out and everything will be okay. Yeah. Now, I want to touch on the fan base that you guys have. That might sound a little weird, but every time I've gone to a Gaslight show, I go to a lot of different kind of music. I mean, sometimes if I'm at a Slipknot show, we were just at Whitechapel not too long ago, and I'll get the look, like, are you lost kind of thing. What are you doing here? It's just sometimes the fans, I do. I get the look sometimes. But when I'm at a Gaslight show, I feel like I find everyone in the crowd, from like a 50-year-old English teacher to punk skater kids to college kids just home drunk. Like, it's such a good vibe, but I feel like you guys never have had that demographic fan base. It kind of like went out the window. I really feel that way.
I don't know how we did that, but we were lucky to do that.
Yeah.
Because I think that stops a lot of people from checking out music, I think.
Absolutely.
And I was just watching that Foo Fighters documentary, the Back and Forth.
Such a good.
I love that one, right?
I know.
And he was talking about when Nirvana realized that they were doing well after Nevermind, when like kids that played sports and they would start coming to the show and like, wait, you're here to see my band?
Right.
Like, wait a minute, like, didn't you used to beat me up in high school?
Right.
But like, I don't mind. Like, I think that's really cool that everybody can go, and I like it that people don't give each other a hard time.
Yeah.
And like there's not like, the crowd's not separated by like cliques, and even like the hipster kids like us. We've had like even the most heavy hardcore bands like tell us that they like us, like one time we were playing a festival in Germany, and like I looked over to the side of the stage and I was like, that's Madball, that's all of Madball watching us play, which is super cool because we all grew up on that kind of music,
right,
mixed with, we grew up on hardcore and punk, and then we grew up on just rock and roll music. So for us to be able to, I don't know, to get like kind of musical respect from guys like that is super cool, because you would always, in my mind, I would be like, oh, those guys aren't going to like my band. They're going to make fun of us, for not being, like, hard enough.
Right.
But they like it, which is awesome. And I think that that's cool that it brings in a lot of different people.
And it's kind of the same with Orion Festival. Last time I talked to you, I mean, you're technically opening up for Metallica. I mean, even with the crowd, that could have gone either way. I feel
really
like.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that everybody knew that it was the guys in Metallica each picked all of the bands.
Right.
So they gave them the benefit of the doubt. But I think ours went really well that time.
It did.
Which was super cool. And then, I mean, it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt that Lars comes out and tells people to listen to us.
Right, well, yeah.
You know, and I think that, but it's cool that, like, Lars likes Hot Snakes, too, like a band like that, which is super, like, indie and DC and weird. You know?
And like Best Coast. And
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
odd, you know,
Yeah.
which is really cool, though. I like that. Because I listen to tons of music, like all different kinds of music. But even Metallica, they're doing that thing where they're not, when they started out, they were like a metal band, and metalheads like them. But then they kind of broke into the mainstream, and it was more of a, you know, like an everybody can like Metallica. Like Metallica almost became a rock band,
Right.
you know, which is bizarre now. Because we were talking about, like, best American rock bands. So we were trying to figure out, like, who's, like, the best, you know. And we think Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers are the best. But then, like, you got to throw, like, Aerosmith in there.
Yeah.
You have to. And then, you know, and then we were like, wait a minute. Like, Metallica's been around for, like, 30 years.
They really have.
So they kind of, like, they're in now, too, which is bizarre. Like, it's so weird to think about that. But, yeah, we're, all the other bands are British. All the other good bands.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're a big Clash fan, right?
I like the Clash.
Yeah.
I like the, you know, I like I like the Clash a lot, but Alex is really the Clash guy.
Yeah.
He's the one who loves the Clash. I mean, I like the Clash, but I wouldn't, you probably wouldn't find me sitting around listening to the Clash on my own.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I like it, and I used to listen to it all the time, but now it's a little different. I don't like them any less.
Right.
Kinda.
I get what you mean.
You know, I'm just not into, like, you know, I don't need a White Riot or London's Burning anymore.
Exactly.
I'm just a little past that. Maybe a little peaceful. You know, maybe I like a little Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros a little bit more now. So.
Now, it's been almost a year since Handwritten came out, July.
Yeah.
Wow, it feels like that went so fast. That was kind of the record that I guess the media would say was your breakthrough record. I mean,
Yeah.
I might tend to disagree, but I mean, with the radio play and everything like that, as far as that goes, did you guys, when you finished it, ever think, man, like, people are really going to just look at us differently after we put this out?
No. I mean, I think that we were already on that kind of path.
Right.
You know, so people kind of looked at us like, oh, they started out as like a little punk band, and then they kind of sort of branched out into more like a rock band, and we had a very delicate step along the way. It wasn't like so night and day.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like one day we were this and then the next day we were that. But it was really, yeah, I guess technically that was the breakthrough record. Like, that was the one where people started to, like, household name would know, like, 45 or something like that, you know? Whereas before, I would always consider 59 Sound to be the one that really, like,
I agree.
because we were nothing, and then people knew who we were.
Exactly.
And it was right at that point. Like, I can, you know, tell you, like, the day it was. It was, like, probably, I think it was after that Glastonbury Hyde Park festival with Bruce. Like, I knew after that, I was like, something's going to be different. I swear to you, something's going to be different. I said that to all the guys. And then, like, it was. Everything was different after that point. So that was still I still will always think of that as, like, the fondest, like, breakthrough point.
Yeah. I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
This was like the first major label release.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of bands, though.
Yeah.
Where they'll, you know, like, there's bands like Nirvana who were nothing and then were everything.
Right.
And then there's bands like, even Bruce told me one time that when Born to Run came out, he said, you know, it broke him through, but he wasn't really, like, a famous person until Born in the USA. So it's like, it's weird how you think, like, even Tom Petty, like, he wasn't really famous until, like, Free Fallin'.
Yeah.
You know, but yet he was famous. You know, it's a weird, there's levels of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I'm still waiting for our out the park, you know, a little Derek Jeter home run out of it.
I think you guys did it right. I mean, there's a lot of bands that will be on a punk label. I mean, you guys were on Side One, and they're kind of always say they're going to be that DIY band for the rest of their life, and then all of a sudden it's like you're seeing them at an arena show, and you're like, what the hell happened, you know? But you guys were never really shy or opposed to the fact that you were going to take that step. You were definitely going to take that step.
You know, we just needed to get ready,
Right.
you know, and I felt like we started out on this label called XOXO Records, which is a local Jersey label, and then we moved to Side One. We did 2 records with them, and then sort of got our like feet, you know. And then, I don't think that if you took one of those steps away, I don't think we would have been able to do what we've done.
Yeah.
And then now we have, you know, we're working on another record for Mercury, and it's gonna be I think that, but they, it's funny because they've reacted to us like side one.
Right.
They don't bother us. They're very supportive, which all the, like, the horror stories you hear about, like, oh, they sign a band and then they just forget about them.
Right.
That does not happen to us in the slightest. And I know all the people that are there that work for us. Like, they still, I call them up and text them ridiculous things at 4 a.m.
Right.
It's pretty cool. So we have, like, a good relationship, It's bizarre because I didn't think, I've been up to the office. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a good vibe.
That's great.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to work with Brendan O'Brien again?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that he's the guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's, especially for whatever it is, like, I feel like you have periods of your band where you're like, this is your guy. Like, and like, we could not have made 59 Sound or American Slang without Ted.
Right.
There's no way. And I think that, what Ted does and what Brendan does are two different things. And it's not like one's better than the other. But for this stage of our career, Brendan's the guy.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe Ted will be the guy again, or maybe a different guy. But definitely Brendan is the guy for the next record for sure.
It's got to be tough too, because just because Brendan did so good with like Pearl Jam doesn't necessarily mean he would do good with Gaslight. But I feel like it fit like a glove.
It's a wild thing though,
Yeah.
because like I talked to Eddie about it, and he was like. He's like, listen, this is what Brendan does. It gave me the vibe from that spot. And then I talked to Bruce about it, and he was like, and then I talked to the guys in Mastodon, which is totally weird. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
And I was like, so how was your experience? And they all said that he really is great at honing in on what you do, And he didn't, like, mix us up with the Killers or us up with Pearl Jam or us up with Bruce. And it was like he kind of had his own... It's like he attaches to your thing instead of trying to make you into something else. He's really, really, really clever.
I read that, this might not be true, obviously don't believe everything you read, but that with the song Keepsake, he actually told you guys to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
There was like a whole bridge section that kind of just like, I guess I was listening to way too much Soundgarden at the time. And like it just went from like the song that it is, with the chorus, and then the middle bit just kind of went off the deep end into something else. Like I wanted to write this weird riff and like a different time signature. And Brendan was like, you've got a really cool groove with this song, and you're shocking me completely, and I don't know where I am. I feel like I went into a different song. He's like, I really think you should change that. And I was just like, okay, cool. So we came up with something that night, and then the next night we just went in and played it, and that was it. And it kind of worked. But then he also had like little lines like that he would say, like, he would be like, you have this melody, but it needs something else, like a ba-da-da-ba in Keepsake, and that at the bottom of this river was where I put you down to lay.
Right.
That little note was Brendan. Like that wasn't there before. It was just like where I put you so I could live with it. But then the fact that he just put that little, he's like, you need to do something that goes da-da-da-da. And I was like, what? I'm like, and then he starts playing the little thing on the piano, and I go like, oh, down the lane. And then it fixed the song, and it made it feel smoother. So he's got some good ideas.